Something has got to happen because we can no longer go down the path that we're going down. This country won't last another 6 months. This country won't last another 12 months if something doesn't happen. So it's time to flip the switch. It's time to get involved. It's time to move the line forward. And if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So I don't care what flip the switch is. I don't care if that means that all of this nonsense is nonsense, or if some of it's true. All right. Welcome, Warriors, World Patriots, my fellow Americans. My name is Mike. I'm the host of Liberty Warrior. Give me liberty or give me death. When tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. And it is a Monday for sure. It's Monday, May 23rd, 2022. It's my son's 10th birthday today. So we had a birthday party for him on Saturday. Had a lot of fun. And then we had pizza tonight for dinner. So Noah, he had a good birthday, and 10 years, man, it goes by really fast. You know, he's almost as big as I am, 10 years old. So he's a big kid. But anyway, welcome to the show tonight. I see a lot of new names in chat, and some of them are over on Facebook too. So welcome, Facebook. Welcome, Twitter. Welcome, everybody who jumped over here off of Truth Social. I posted it up on Truth Social, and I see a lot of new names in chat. So just welcome to the show. My name is LW Mike, and I enjoy what we do here at LWN. We have a lot of stuff that we do throughout the day, throughout the week. We put out a lot of information for those of you who are new to the show. You can catch us for devotions at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then I do headline hits, which was canceled today because I had a water leak. I didn't do headline hits this morning because yeah, my water heater hose it sprung a leak and it was leaking all over the place. So I had to take care of that this morning, and I got that taken care of. And then of course, Tammy and I did the hammer, the warrior and the hammer this afternoon Podbean, which was really good. I'll be posting that up on Frank's speech here very soon. I got a lot of work to catch up on. So with that being said, just a couple of announcements, and I got some great topics that we want to talk about tonight. Some very interesting stuff that's in the news. And I know some of you probably already seen some of the circulation, but I want to talk about it tonight. So tonight is brought to you by mypillow.com. Mike Lindell, the great patriot, he's out there fighting for us each and every day. And I do believe justice will be served. A lot of stuff breaking, a lot of stuff happening. So if you guys want to support a great patriot, you can go to mypillow.com. We got Father's Day right around the corner. We've got birthdays. We've got graduations right around the corner. Support a great patriot, Mike Lindell, mypillow.com, and use promo code LWN because Mike Lindell supports LWN. So when you use that promo code, it helps keep the lights on here at the show. So thank you for that. I know a lot of people have been ordering lately. I've got the slippers on right now. I love them. Bed sheets, love them. Towels, love them. A lot of people think, oh, he just sells pillows. Not really. He's got a many products in his store, My Pillow, but he also has My Store, which is Patreon-owned businesses that have linked up with him, and they sell all kinds of stuff. So if you guys want to get away from the big box stores, check them out. One last announcement, and we're going to get to the headlines. We are coming up on 7 or 8 days left in May. So for the giveaway, for all the prizes at the end of the month, if you guys want to qualify for that, I see a lot of green stickers in chat. A lot of United We Stand has one in green letters, and he's got a little LWN badge there. So does Carlene. Those are memberships. If you guys want to help support this channel, you can go to the front page and hit the subscribe button. It's not required to watch any of our material. Our material is always free, but it helps keep the channel going. So to qualify for the giveaway at the end of the month, if you are a monthly subscriber for this month, or if you do a super chat, you guys get qualified for the silver coins and for all the prizes that we give away. So thanks for all the support. We love you guys. Now let's hit the topics. This is something that was brought up in one of my chats earlier today. People were very concerned about the WHO and what's going on over in Beijing and Shanghai. So the lockdown mania, 5,000 Beijing residents sent to, now listen to this. This is where it gets kind of squirrely. They were sent to quarantine camps based on 26 sickness cases in their district. Did you just hear what I said? Only 26 people have contracted the sickness, and they decided that they were going to actually put them in quarantine camps. Now, this comes right on the heels of the new monkey pox, which is also out. And Tammy and I talked about it today on the Podbean. But just listen to that, 26 people. Now, regardless of what number of variant we're on now or what the name of that is, for every virus, that thing gets weaker and weaker and more contagious. So what is really the plan of the Chinese Communist Party here? I don't know, but it smells funny to me. And it also stinks of the WHO that could also have their hands on some of this stuff. And they got their hands on Belgium right now with this whole monkeypox thing. So we're going to talk about that here in just a second. But health authorities in Beijing transferred 4,979 of their city's residents to a state-run quarantine faculties over the weekend as part of an effort to contain the latest outbreak of the Wuhan Chinese sickness that came out of the Global Times over the weekend. So, what are your thoughts on that? The Chinese Communist Party officials began uprooting the massive group of residents on May 20th from the residential compound in Beijing's um, Choyang district and continued the effort through at least the May 21st. So these guys have rounded up residents. Now, there was some concern in my chat about it this morning, and I assured people this: the only thing that separates us from becoming a full-blown communist country is the fact that we have the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is what's our buffer there, folks. That's why it's so critical for us to fight for our Bill of Rights, to know what your Bill of Rights are, to fight for our Constitution, to never consent, to never comply, to never waver. Because if we allow them to take that Second Amendment from us, if we just lay down, roll over, this is where we're headed right here. Without a doubt, this is where we will end up. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be there, because behind every blade of grass in America, there's a firearm. Millions and millions, millions and millions of patriots, retired military, retired law enforcement all over this country that will battle, that will fight, that will stand proud, stand for America, stand for family. And so, no, I'm not concerned that we'll ever really get to this point unless we start seeing more and more of our freedoms stripped from us for all kinds of various reasons, like monkeypox. You don't believe me? Haven't heard it in the news? Well, it's very similar to shingles, is what Tammy reported today. And actually, shingles is a side effect, one of the side effects from getting the old vacation. So, is this new, what they call monkeypox, just something else that they are stringing along to try to conform us, to try to control us, using this fear porn to herd us like cattle into a certain direction? I'm going to read up on that here in just a minute. I'm going to talk about monkeypox. But they've lost what the sickness now had a grasp on us. It no longer does. They can't control us. Too many Americans have stood up and said, "No, we're over this. We're getting back to life." So now they got to come up with the next thing. How do I know this? Well, somebody very close to me tonight told me that in their office they received a fax this afternoon that talked about monkeypox. That's right here in the state of Idaho. It's already going all over the nation. People in health districts, people in health clinics, hospitals, you name it, are getting fax from the government letting them know about monkeypox. Ooh, boo, another boogeyman, right? Buckle up, folks, because Belgium, let's go over to Belgium real quick. Belgium is in a full-blown lockdown. You don't believe me? You can read the article in Breitbart. Belgium is in a lockdown. So there will be more cases, quote, WHO joins chorus warning about monkeypox as Belgium confirms a very strict lockdown. You want to know how long that lockdown is? It's 21 days. The World Health Organization, the WHO, on Saturday added its voice to the growing choirs warning about the rise in monkeypox infections, saying it expects more cases to emerge after a handful were detected in the US and Europe. Now, Affidavit Mamas have been on here for the last couple of weeks, on and off, letting us know that the current administration the Biden administration is looking at sending delegates, representatives, whatever you want to call them, from the WHO to the World Forum to vote and turn over the United States their medical sovereignty. I want to be clear about that. I know a lot of people are worried that it's going to be our sovereignty completely. I believe it's more of a medical sovereignty to the WHO so that they can, in my opinion, control us. Think about this for just a minute. Monkeypox on the horizon. We get a few outbreaks here in America. Could they be caused from people who have taken the vaccine? Very possible. Could they be brought across the southern border that's constantly being invaded each and every day? It's quite possible. We have an outbreak here in America, and then the WHO comes in and says, we got to lock you down. We just came out of lockdown. Remember, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we ended up locking America down for months and months and months. A lot of people lost their businesses. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people lost their benefits. A lot of people lost their homes and vehicles. I'm included in that. I lost a lot during that lockdown because I would not comply. Just something to think about. I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. I think it's very, very important for us to know what's going on. The situation is evolving, and WHO expects that there will be more cases of monkeypox identified as surveillance expands. We already talked about this. As surveillance expands. Remember, mamas came on and they said, listen, WHO wants to use their arm to increase surveillance on American citizens, on world citizens in every country. Why do they need surveillance on us? Why do they need surveillance on anybody? Now, listen to this part of this article. It's in Breitbart. If you guys want to catch it, go to Breitbart. 12 WHO member states. 12 WHO member states. What does that mean? Well, the Biden administration is trying to get the United States to sign on with the WHO. That would make us a member state. So there are already countries out there that have already signed up for this WHO crap. 12 of them have now reported cases of monkeypox since May 13th, according to the agency. The infections, however, do not have estimated travel connections to these infected areas. So again, I was reporting earlier today, they can't confirm where this stuff is coming from. They can't track it right now. So my question to everybody is, if they can't track it, then people that have gotten the vacation, are they the ones that have all of a sudden experienced this? Are they the ones? Now, this is not as contagious as the sickness itself. I mean, I'm even seeing pictures of kangaroos having this stuff on them. They call it monkeypox, but does it just pertain to monkeys? Does it pertain to humans? Does it pertain to animals? Swollen lymphnoids. It looks painful. It looks a lot like smallpox, to be honest with you. And this is something else that we've been talking about here in the southern border. This type of stuff could come across our southern border at a rapid pace. I'm not living in fear. I'm just throwing this out there for you guys to just really pay attention. Here's some more information that comes out of the article. The U.S. Centers of Disease Control and Infection and the UK's Health Security Agency are currently looking into a range of causes, including among individuals who identify themselves as men who have sex with other males. That's what it says. Meanwhile, Belgium has become the first country to introduce a compulsory 21-day monkeypox quarantine. That came out of the Daily Mail. 21 days. But does this give them the authority to round you up and throw you in a camp? I don't know. Who knows at this point? This is just more distraction, in my opinion. Why am I bringing this up? Because what's going on in Pennsylvania right now? They still haven't finished counting from the previous, what was it, a week ago? The little thing where you go to your county office and you check those boxes on a little piece of paper and put it in a machine or put it in one of those little drop boxes. Is this a distraction to keep our eyes over here on monkeypoxes while they're delivering certain things late at night? I don't know. I find it very, very interesting. Those who contract the virus will now have to self-isolate for 3 weeks. The Belgium health authorities have said after 3 cases were recorded in the country. Just 3 cases. They're very concerned about this. Is this something that we should be concerned about? Are they programming us? Have they groomed us? Have they conditioned us to be afraid of everything? I mean, that's what I put out there earlier today on Podbean. Have we been conditioned to be afraid of our own shadow? Now, everything that comes out in the news, every variant, everything that pops up, people are conditioned to just freak out at this point. Yeah, midterms. Midterms are right around the corner, right? They're not far off. Today, or this is the 5th month. We got a little less than 6 months to go, and now they're bringing this in. But people are been conditioned. I mean, think about the ones who have already bought the other sickness hook, line, and sinker. They're still walking around with the things on their faces. They run down and get every booster that's required. Now this hits the American soil here. Think about what they're going to do. They're going to freak out even more because this, if you look at the pictures, is more, in my opinion, frightening than the sickness itself was for the last 2 years. I don't know. Where are we headed, folks? Where are we headed? These guys are absolutely insane, and they're going to continue to do all of this as long as we allow it. Well, let's talk about one of the guys that's in charge of all this. An RSC memo holding partisan public health bureaucrats like Fauci accountable should be a major priority under the GOP majority. So what they're talking about in this article here is they do believe that the Republicans are going to regain the majority in the House and the Senate. And if they do, they want this to be at the top of their priority. They want to put a panel together and go after Fauci. The Republican Study Committee, the RSC policy document, urges that holding partisan public health bureaucrats such as Lyon, Flip-Flop, and Fauci accountable for major oversight priority after the 2022 congressional midterms. So some of our elected officials are already rumored to be thinking about this. But as John Estabrooks and quite a few of us say all the time, it's really just one party. Are they really going to do anything about this? Are they going to hold each other accountable? I mean, think about it. Are they really? Is the right hand going to slap the left hand? Is the left hand going to slap the right hand? Are they going to cut the hand off? Probably not. If Congress fails to uphold the Fauci Flip-Flop and Fauci accountable and fails to perform public health agencies we will be given far left bureaucrats a blank check to shut the country down whenever they want to. It's true. We've already allowed it to happen in 2020. We all decided, maybe not all of us, but most of America decided that they were going to go ahead and chip in on the 14 days. Everybody thought, yeah, that'll be a good idea. I specifically said, of course, I wasn't on air at that time, but I specifically said to my circle, if you give them 14 days, they're going to take 14 years. They'll take a mile. You give the government an inch, they will take a mile, and they won't look back. And look at what happened in 2020. Most people jumped on board the 14 days, and that lasted for 14 months. Just something to think about. We can't allow these guys to continue to do this to us. GOP Senator Marshall says U.S. Mexican border looks like a war zone. So here we are. Monkeypox is encroaching the United States, but yet this current administration doesn't find it or deem it necessary to shut the border down, to put National Guard on the border, to finish the wall, to reenact Trump's policies on the southern border. No, they march forward to push the end of Title 42. Kind of seems like this is all planned out, doesn't it? Kind of seems like it's all scripted, like this was meant to happen. And it just continues. This week on Fox News, Sunday morning features Senator Roger Marshall, a Republican from Kansas, called on President Joe Biden to visit the U.S.-Mexico border as the White House pushes to lift Title 42. Marshall, who was visiting the border, described the scene as a war zone every night. It's an unsustainable crisis. End quote. Pretty crazy. They just keep flooding our border. Flooding. We keep printing more money. We don't do anything about it. I don't know. They said something like 22,000 were caught over the weekend at the border. That's a lot of people. It's a lot of people. But with Title 42 being lifted, they're coming, folks. They're coming harder than they ever have before. Title 42, the Trump administration, Trump policies, the border wall was the only thing that was somewhat effective to slow the travel down to America. I'm not saying it's perfect. There were loopholes. There were still ways of tunneling under, climbing up over the wall. But the fact is, since this administration got into office, they absolutely opened the floodgates. They opened the floodgates. And these people are on a straight beeline for our southern border. Now you lift Title 42, and there's no stopping them. They will be at such a rapid pace on our southern border. Remember, 500,000 illegals crossing our border every month. That is going to increase severely. Look at how all this ties together. Lifting Title 42, monkeypox here in the United States, monkeypox all over in 18 different countries. What are they trying to do to us? Midterms right around the corner. They're going to tell you you can't go cast your vote because monkeypox is so contagious. So we're going to have to do mail-in ballots again. Any opinions on that? If that's going to happen? I don't know. It's all right there. It's all in black and white. It's all coming our direction. Let's talk about Trump running for 2024. I know a lot of people think that he's coming back before 2024. I pray he comes back before 2024, but there's no guarantee on that. They're pretty concerned about him running for 2024. Robert Gates, Trump running in 2024 would present, now listen to this, it would present a national security concern. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wait a minute. Trump running in 2024 would present a national security concern, but yet Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, the family Biden linked to all of this corrupt business dealings in China and Ukraine is not a national security concern for any of these people? No, just Trump. Yeah, let's read a little further. Robert Gates, the former defense secretary under both Bush and Obama administrations, said Sunday on CBS Face the Nation that former President Donald Trump running for office would present a concern for national security. It just it just goes on and on and on. So Margaret asks him, "You've said that you've been disappointed in Republican leaders for not standing up for traditional Republican values. We just had this awful shooting in Buffalo, New York. Liz Cheney, Congresswoman, said House GOP leadership has enabled white nationalism, white supremacy, and anti-Semitism. History has taught us that that is the beginning with words, ends in far worse. Republican leaders must renounce and reject these views and those who hold them. Do you think Republican leaders are enabling these things?" She said. Liz Cheney has got to go bye-bye. Why in the hell has Wyoming not recalled her yet? Here she is running her mouth yet again, tearing Trump down like she always does, but more importantly, tearing all of us down. All of us with conservative values, all of us patriots, all of us God loving, gun loving, America first. They're setting the stage. Gates responds with, "I don't know that I would go that far. I do know that there's not enough of them denouncing those things, denouncing white supremacy, denouncing um, any of this stuff. We have too many people who are in uh, politics to further their own agendas and to further their own personal projects rather than what's good for the country." And I would say that that's true on both parties. It's just really frustrating because they think that we, some Republican Party people, conservatives, patriots, we're a bigger threat to America, and Trump supporters are a bigger threat to America than people who hold office, who open the southern border, who continue to print money and send it overseas, who decide that transgenderism is the way of the future, the wave of the future, who want to indoctrinate our children, who want to lock our country down, who want to force mandates on us, who want to hold us over medical tyranny, who shut the Keystone pipeline down and allow gas prices to skyrocket, who continuously dump gasoline on the fire of inflation. We're more dangerous than them. We're more dangerous than them in their minds. That's how insane the world that we live in today has become. Up is down, down is up, wrong is right, right is wrong. Trump running in 2024 would present a national security concern. What happened to Hunter Biden? What happened to Joe Biden? What happened to, if they don't fire him, they're not going to get the billions of dollars? He said that on record, laughed about it, thought it was funny. What about Hillary Clinton and the Obamas? Did you guys pay attention to Podbean this afternoon when Tammy put out that things are coming down big time in the court for Kirschman? A lot of things being said, a lot of things being put out there. They knew it all. They knew it was all a bunch of BS before they put it out there on the Russia hoax. We're watching everything, folks. We're watching everything unfold right before our eyes. We are living in amazing times right now. Blackburn, Biden administration enjoys $5 gasoline prices. Thank you, David Crumpton, for the super chat. Appreciate it. $5 a gallon, and that's just an average. They want to control your life. That's just an average. I know that the East Coast and the West Coast have got to be soaring around $7 a gallon. Yeah, there are parts of the country that maybe it's still down around 4, maybe. I'd like to find out where that's at. I talked to a friend of mine today, $6 for a dozen of eggs in our little grocery store here in town. $6 a dozen. Inflation continues to rise. And Trump is a national security concern. Gas prices out of control, baby formula shortages, food production plants caught on fire, 18 of them exploded, caught on fire. Millions and millions of turkeys and chickens have had to be destroyed. You think that this is going to end here, folks? This is just the beginning. And I'm not spreading fear porn. I'm not trying to scare you. I am just simply putting information out there for you guys to be prepared. I think eventually somebody is going to have to step in. That is my thought tonight. When is it going to get to a point where somebody is going to have to step in? Answer that question for me, please. When is it going to get to a point when the military is going to have to step in, when Congress is going to have to step in? Because if somebody doesn't step in, I don't know if there's going to be a country left come 2024. Here's an interesting thing that I want to share with you guys tonight. Joe Biden. He showed up in Buffalo, New York last week after the horrendous shooting. I want to know when in history, you guys can answer this question for me. When in history has the most popular president of all time, the president that got more votes even than the first black president, the president who ran his campaign out of his basement, the president who couldn't even get 12 people to fill 12 little chairs and little circles in front of a podium, a president who's been connected to so many corrupt dealings, a president that can't even put two sentences together and sound coherent, a president who, after a speech, turns around and starts trying to shake hands with an imaginary person standing behind him, shows up in Buffalo, New York, supposedly allegedly gets off the plane and gets into a 3-vehicle motorcade. 3-vehicle. From the reports that I have received, there was no security sweep 48 hours prior to this visit. Manholes hadn't been welded shut. No 48-hour security sweep. No briefings, no contact with other agencies. And he shows up in Buffalo, New York. When has that ever happened? My point today on Podbean was this. This guy that is so popular, so well known, and fears for the democracy of the United States. He has gone on record saying Trump supporters, J6, patriots, they are a threat to the democracy of the United States. Prove me that I'm wrong. He said that on record several times. But he shows up in Buffalo, New York with only 3 vehicles in their motorcade and no security sweep. Does that make sense to you guys? Does that smell okay to you? Because it doesn't to me. It does not smell okay to me. Because if this guy feared democracy, if this guy feared Trump supporters, if this guy feared white supremacy and patriots and all the names that they call us, wouldn't he have the most heightened security that we've ever seen in the United States of America? I believe so. I believe that's what we would see. But if he isn't really in charge, then I don't believe you'd see that. Just my thought on that. I thought it was pretty interesting. What else did he do? He showed up in Korea over the weekend, right? Supposedly. Allegedly showed up in Korea. How come every time this guy flies on Air Force One, it's not called Air Force One? Does that make any sense to you guys? Every time this guy flies on Air Force One, it's not the call sign is not Air Force One. Now, I'm not saying it's never been Air Force One because it has a couple of times, but a lot of people track him. And 98% of the time when he flies, it says NA or it comes up as what is it? Tailwing 800 or 8,000, something like that. I got questions for this guy. I'd like to know why. So he goes to Korea. He threatens China. And from what I've seen and what I've heard, a lot of that Korean visit almost looks, I hate to say this, but CGI. Did you guys see it? What do you guys think? CGI? Studio? Remember, they continuously do press releases and stuff across the street from the White House in a studio. Does that make any sense? Why would they not be doing press releases in the most powerful office in the world, the Oval Office? So I'm going to take a look at this video that I was told about and told to check this morning and see how much of those videos look CGI to me. Now, I'm not real big on the whole CGI and clones and all that nonsense. But man, why? You got to ask yourself, why? Do they do CGI because the man is just so frail that he can't make a trip to Korea and he can't be around other people because he's such a blabbering idiot? Do they do Zoom calls and make them all CGI like he's really there? Just questions I have for you tonight. And then he turns around and supposedly threatens China and tells China that if China invades Taiwan, that the United States military will protect Taiwan and Taiwan's interest. Now, how crazy is that? When you thought it couldn't get any crazier, you have the old man with dementia in the White House blabbing out stuff like that. Now, I told you guys a long time ago that if China invades Taiwan, that the United States would have to react in some form or fashion. What are they going to do? Sanction China? China owns all of our debt. How are sanctions going to hurt China? Just a thought. Just thought I'd throw that out there. And before I leave tonight, I got something else I wanted to make you guys think about. A lot of stuff happening. This is where you really need to pay attention, because I'm really going to make you use your thinking cap tonight. A lot of things happening. A lot of things coming out. We can talk about Maricopa County. We can talk about Mike Lindell. We can talk about the stuff that Mike Lindell has presented to the public. We can talk about the investigations into Maricopa County and some of the stuff they brought to light. We can talk about Wisconsin. We can talk about Michigan. We can talk about Georgia. We can talk about Pennsylvania. All the stuff that happened in that cold month of November in 2020. We can talk about, man, I don't know if I should say his name. I won't say his name, but the gentleman who released the video of those 2,000 donkeys. We can talk about that. We can talk about the sheriff in Arizona that's now starting an investigation into what happened November 2020. And I want to round all that up in a nice little package and put a bow on it. And I want to bring this to your mind, because somebody brought this to my somebody brought this to my doorstep just this morning and a couple days ago. So here it is. The fences up around the Supreme Court. I know that there's speculation on both parts that the fences are put up because they're afraid of all the crazy patriots. Then there's speculation that they put the fences up for another reason. So here's the bow on top of the gift for you tonight. Nancy Drew did a video where she reported people showing up there in D.C., getting out of vehicle after vehicle, all dressed very well, fences up around the Supreme Court, a lot of distractions out there with Roe v. Wade, a lot of distractions with gay marriage. Now we got monkeypox, all kinds of distractions. But could it be that they showed up at Washington, D.C. for something else? Could it be that the Supreme Court is now hearing the whole issues that happened in November of 2020? Could it be that the fences are up for another reason? Could we be looking at something magnificent here very shortly? I'm going to leave you with that tonight, folks. I hope you all have a great evening, and I'll be back tomorrow evening with a special guest. I hope you guys have a great night. God bless.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see take it or leave it. How you can blend in with the crowd.